Or in 1080 or whatever.
Oh.
Hey,
We're live!
everybody.
What is up, everybody? We're back.
We're back.
Back again.
Back like Voldemort.
Funny Nuts back. Tell a friend. Please share it right now.
No, we're fine. Hey, everybody. We're supposed to do the moon landing, but I guess we can kind of do some of it. That was boring. Did y'all also find that
I just found a bunch of like
terrible?
Nazis that were tied to it that made it seem like it wasn't real. But then I don't know. I really don't fucking know. I'm still questioning it.
I mean, we did go over
We went over it, but I still
paperclip thing. But the only thing I found that was intriguing was Stanley Kubrick. We can go over that in the second hour if we want to. But we got a lot of current events to catch up on because we skipped a week and we skipped all the Funny Nut news as well. Sunday was my fault. That's my bad. I did not wake up, and then I woke up to my wife saying we had Easter stuff to do. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Oops.
You get a free pass on Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, back to your regular scheduled programming. Y'all see any crazy shit in the news? I'm sure you have. It's been a lot, really quick.
3 weeks worth of it, right?
whole lot of stuff.
3? Did we skip 3 weeks?
Yeah. Well, I was traveling, and then you were traveling, and then you traveled again. So you traveled more than I did, but
Yeah, I'm a traveler, man. Ooh, we can talk about that a little bit. It a little bit pertains to the political side of the zeitgeist of the moment of society. One of the trips was to Oakland.
I knew you were going to go there.
For work. I think we actually flew into Oakland. I don't know if I saw San Francisco. Anyway, it is so bad. It is like the worst place ever. It was rainy. Yeah, it was rainy, so it made everything look a little more dismal. But it looks post-apocalyptic. And we went to lunch and parked on the same street as the restaurant we were in, but you couldn't see the car. We were in there 30, 45 minutes. Someone busted the window, stole me and a coworker's clothes, and left $20,000 worth of tools.
what?
They only knew.
Yeah. I went 3 years ago, and to Oakland's credit, 3 years ago, it was the middle of the Summer of Love, where there were riots everywhere. It was like right after everything stopped catching on fire, I went to Oakland.
Why'd you call it Summer of Love?
That's a name for it.
Waifu, what's up?
What up, waifu?
Waifu.
So everything,
Waifu.
so everything on the street I was working on 3 years ago was actually boarded up with like plywood and shit. But this time it looked like a normal city, and they still stole my shit. It's the second time. I've been to Oakland twice. I got my shit stolen both times. This time I was a block away from the police department. We waved down cops, and they told us to commit insurance fraud.
That's
Oh my god, they didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Here's how you handle this situation.
There's
Tell
so,
your insurance company.
yeah, don't go to Oakland.
No, it was a rental car, and they go, "Is this a rental?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Did you get the insurance?" And we were like, "No." And they went, "Maybe you should call the rental company and get insurance and then drive back." And we were like, "I think what you just told us to do is illegal."
Can you get
That
can you
place
say
is
that
scary,
in
though.
front of the on the camera?
What? Oh,
Say,
the cop,
Get
yeah.
the cop to say it so you're covered in case it comes back to you.
He did keep going like this, turning his body cam on and off. Nah, he didn't do that. I'm just kidding.
Just covers it up.
Yeah.
Starts rubbing real hard. What are you saying? I can't hear you.
Maybe you should commit insurance fraud.
What'd you say?
kind
I
of-
said I have a huge rod.
Does it hit the feelings at all to like walk and see past job bordered up? Like you spent so much time and effort on a job and then
No, it was boarded up when I was there. I couldn't get in it.
well,
If we're talking about
why'd they hire
2020,
you?
I don't know because it wasn't ready when I got there. It was weird. Oakland.
Oh yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
make
yeah.
sense.
You told that story before. No, I don't know about it on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of California is really fucking dangerous. Like I was telling y'all, the founder of Cash App was stabbed like a few weeks ago in Northern California. I think San Francisco.
Yeah. So Oakland and San Francisco are across the bridge from each other. The bridge from Full House, the Golden Gate Bridge. It's San Francisco. Across the bridge is Oakland. So they're very close to each other, and they're both sketchy as hell. Damn, I had a point. Oh. When we were talking to the cops, we told them where our Airbnb was, and they were like, don't let people see you take your tools in the house. And I went, what? And he goes, well, we don't want them to break in the house to steal your tools. And I went, can that happen? And they were like, well, you're not in a very good part of town. And I was like, I'm in downtown Oakland, dog. What are you talking about?
That's where you would
Why are
concentrate
there
your
robberies?
efforts.
I was like, you want to watch the house? Will you scope it out for us? It was terrifying. I think I have to go back. We'll see.
Think you have to go back?
Probably.
We had the place I used to work. We had routes that were in pretty shady parts of towns, and we had people straight up refuse to go to it, and they accommodated it. So I don't know why you couldn't just refuse.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I think I know what job you're talking about. Is it one I shared with you?
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked me in the middle of working for money in a store.
I don't
And I was
know.
like,
yeah.
I was like, no, fucker, get away from me. I'm miserable right now. I'm not going to be miserable and give you money.
How were you miserable?
That job sucked. Anyways.
Anyways, so Oakland's pretty shady. The few times I did go to California, I went to what's the beach? Venice Beach.
Venice is crazy.
It's just
It's
a
Monica.
tent city.
Santa Monica or Venice?
Yeah,
Are those the
Venice.
same thing?
They're next door.
No, yeah, they're next. Yeah, they're not that far from each other. But
I think Santa
no,
Monica's
Venice
a
is
little bit nicer.
yeah, it is.
I went
Venice
to
is definitely fucking weird. It's where all the weird people are and all the homeless people. Like, so when Adam and I were down there a few years ago. We were on Venice Beach, and I walked by where the restrooms were on the beach, and I see all these methed out freaking people, and they're like, yeah, it's laundry day, and they're out there like doing their laundry right in the public restrooms.
Dude, in Oakland, I saw someone use a water fountain, and him and his girlfriend washed all of their clothes and themselves in a water fountain.
It's like, they do what they got to do.
Me and the wife went for our honeymoon to Santa Monica. This is before COVID. This is before everything got real bad. So during COVID, I traveled the whole time, and most of it was in California, so I got to watch it degrade month to month. It for some reason it seems like they've felt all the ramifications of the past 3 years, 4 years, the most. But anyway, on our honeymoon, We were at Santa Monica Pier. We're on. There's a 4-way intersection, stoplights or whatever, right in front of Santa Monica Pier, which is a famous pier. It's right next to Venice Beach. Who gives a shit? And we were gonna cross to walk down the boardwalk, like tourists do. And we saw a guy across the street get butt naked. He took all of his clothes off and put them on the ground next to him. And then he took his shirt and he put his legs through the armholes, and his junk was hanging out the neck hole. And he was holding it like this and started just sprinting in between cars and like stopping traffic at this huge intersection. And we were like, is this every day? Like, what is going on?
Dude, that was the matinee.
Yeah. Dude.
That was the matinee.
I think back, there was one night we went to see, what the fuck was that person called? I forgot what their name was. Either way, we went to see this person, and it was a LA club. We were in downtown Hollywood, and I was on like my schedule where at that point I was going to sleep like around like 9 in the evening, but
so
it was
7 o'clock in California
type of shit. And so it got to where it was midnight in California, and I was so damn tired, and I partook with some legal edibles, and we were drinking and got way too fucked up. And so this club filled up so quick to see who this person was. I wish I could remember their name.
I think it was the Star Wars one. Or did y'all?
No, it wasn't the Star Wars club. Okay. That was different. I was like way more sober for that.
They had like a Mos Eisley pop-up where they were playing the Cantina song and all that stuff.
It was awful. They were doing karaoke and this bitch could not sing. But at the other club, I'm like standing there and all these people just rush in, and I'm like shoulder to shoulder with these people, and I'm freaking the fuck out because I have like a little bit of claustrophobia. So all these people are just like, I get hit like 4 times, and I'm standing beside the sound guy. And next thing I know, I'm just like, fuck this. So I just text Adam. I was completely separate from him. Text him. I'm like, I'm fucking out. Like, I'm fucking scared. There's so many people beside me. I've been hit 4 times. I'm leaving. So I walk back to the hotel we stay at, and it's fucking midnight out there. It's raining. It's downtown Hollywood, and I'm walking by myself. I'm like so shocked that I wasn't fucking robbed or anything like that. I didn't encounter like one weird person either. I just looked down and just ran.
Yeah,
there were so many people though.
Knock on wood, every time I've been robbed, I haven't been there. So.
Robbed in my hometown. That's the only place I've ever been robbed.
For real? Like gunpoint, knife point?
No, I wasn't. It was my truck when it was in high school, so I left my truck in the parking lot. Somebody stole my iPod.
Man, we're someone stole my
iPod.
My LG chocolate got stolen in high school.
Shady town, man. It was sketch growing up.
Nah, dude, we had it.
No, it wasn't.
We still had it pretty nice, dude.
It's not sketch at all. Maybe now. I don't know about now.
Anyway, let's move on. What do we got on current events? A bunch of shit has happened. We probably should get into it, right?
Yeah. Half the world wants to get rid of our money.
That was a good, hey, how are you? Missed you. LA isn't even the top 20 dangerous cities. I wonder if Oakland or San Francisco is. I can't imagine it being worse than that.
I think Oakland's got to be.
There's just crazy people in LA. That's
Memphis?
The thing.
I've been to Memphis. I didn't feel what I felt in
Where
Memphis.
Did you get Memphis? I said infamous. Infamous.
No, I pulled it up.
Oh, Memphis is one of the...
Yeah, population.com. Memphis is number 1. Memphis, Detroit, Little Rock. I've been to Little Rock. Little Rock didn't feel like that. Tacoma, Pueblo, St. Louis. I've been to St. Louis and Kansas City. Cleveland, Springfield, Rockford, Albuquerque, Lansing, Minneapolis, Stockton, Dayton, Milwaukee, Mobile, Alabama. Alabama is sketchy, dog. It really is. Aurora, Houston. Hate Houston. I feel that. South Fulton. That's the top 20. Lubbock is next, which is weird.
What? There's nothing to do out there except rob people, I guess.
Yeah, above Baltimore, actually. Beaumont is 30? San Antonio's 35.
What's Dallas?
I'm looking for Oakland, dog, 42. Apparently, Dallas is more dangerous than Oakland. That's horse shit. They must just not count robberies.
Go to certain parts in Dallas, and you
in
will
Oakland. That's
think
true.
again.
I don't know
that's
about that.
No, dog, I promise you.
Second Avenue is terrifying.
Second Avenue's not
Yeah.
that bad.
Go at midnight when there's people outside doing drugs and there's prostitutes and drug dealing and all kinds of crazy shit.
Nah, I'm with Drake on that one. One time we were coming back from a show at Smirnoff or Super Pages or Staples or whatever that thing is called now.
State Fair.
Right around there. And I took a wrong exit, and so I'm on the highway, but the service road stoplight at Second Avenue. And it's probably like the show just let out, so it's getting close to midnight. There's a prostitute and a man at the corner, and we're the only car stopped. And he starts knocking on my window and going, "Roll down your window." And I was like,
No,
absolutely not. And he goes, "Roll down your window." And I just took off. And I was like, hell no, dude. What the fuck?
hey, you want her? $20.
Yeah, no.
I'm good.
Don't you see my girlfriend here?
Still one or two.
Yeah.
Drake and I saw a butt naked prostitute chilling on the highway.
Hell yeah, that sounds like a good
Who
day.
said that I saw what? We saw a butt naked prostitute just chilling on the highway. Where was that?
I don't remember that.
I was probably like, suppress that shit and just kept driving.
So while
Advertisements
we're
selling.
to transition off the social commentary of mostly California, but the U.S. is at large as far as crime levels, dangerousness in cities and stuff. Has it always been that way, or is it going up? Does anyone know?
Crime? I think it's going down.
I mean, I know it goes up and down with economic tides, but I think overall it's been going down because of technology.
Yeah. It's not as crazy as it was.
Damn, dude. Can you imagine it being worse? Anyway, let's jump to the first link. This one is a weird one-off. Jeremy, aren't you the link guy?
Did you do a group me? Watch together?
No, I didn't. I don't think there's any videos.
What do you need me to do right now?
Pull up the first link.
We doing Dolly Llama?
Yeah, because it was weird and it happened.
I feel like that probably happens often.
You think this happens often?
Probably.
You think the Dalai Lama asking a boy to suck his tongue happens often?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not on camera. Why won't this fucking link open? What the fuck?
Wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, his many friends across
It's
the world
CNN.
for the hurt his words may have caused, adding his regrets to the incident. I think it was
dog,
just...
it's less the words and more the intent that you wanted to French kiss a young boy.
His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public before camera. So to him, it was just another little haha, suck my tongue, ha ha ha.
Hey dog, walk up and go ask a kid if you can suck their tongue and see who beats the shit out of you.
I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying it was within his realm of going like this. Like I tease people all the time, like pull my finger.
If that
I'm not justifying it.
If that is within his realm, then I have lost all. Well, I have lost all respect.
That's what I'm trying to get at. He was probably a piece of shit to begin with. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what are you sorry about?
Calling the Dalai Lama a piece of shit.
There's your funny nut clip of the day.
That's pretty good.
That's so weird, dude.
If that was in his wheelhouse, that's all I'm saying. What?
Is he the head of a religion or something? Or is he just like a...
What is the Dalai Lama?
Yeah. He's won
He's
a
like
Nobel Peace Prize.
Isn't he like the Pope of
That's what I was
fucking
thinking.
India or some shit?
Hinduism?
Yeah, I think he's like the most high
Foremost
up you can get spiritually.
leader of the globe.
Buddhism.
Yeah, okay.
Buddhism.
Tibetan people.
So he's the Pope of Buddhism. Even though Buddhism's not a religion.
I was close.
Yeah, Buddhism is more like a philosophy, right? Weird.
Anyways,
Learn something new every day. You think
There you
Gandhi
go.
was walking around going,
I think Gandhi had some skeletons in the closet. Sure.
just fucking, what is it called when you grab a butt? You get canceled for it now.
Groping?
Goosing.
Hot dogging?
Goosey. What?
Cornhole?
Well, yeah, kind of. Anyway. All right.
Is that
Probably
our
should have brought that one up. It
allotment
was
of
just
Dalai Lama
great.
jokes?
Yeah, I kind of hated that one.
Eat the
Give that
food.
one a 2 out of 10.
All right, let's get into the China shit then, because that's just popping off. Drake, you have they're
China.
ditching the US dollar story. Do you want to?
Yeah,
wanna
let me
preface
open this. I'm trying to open it, but it's being a fucking dick. There we go.
Sounds like Dalai Lama.
All right. So,
God, these.
do you have this link pulled up?
Maybe.
Yeah, he just pulled it
China
up.
and Brazil strike deal to ditch.
The US dollar in a time when de-dollarization news are dropping fast and furious, even when Elon Musk is now jumping on this bandwagon. And it shows a couple tweets that he put out. Well, what I wanted to show was a little bit down. Yeah, here we go. According to the Brazilian government, China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own currencies, ditching the US dollar as an how the fuck do you say this word?
Where's it at?
Intermediate. I don't have the best education. It's right under the Elon Musk tweet. It doesn't matter. Now it just looks stupid. The deal, Beijing's latest salvo against the almighty greenback, will enable China, the top rival to U.S. economic hegemony, in Brazil, the biggest economy in Latin America, to conduct their massive trade, which amounts to $150 billion per year, and financial transactions directly, exchanging one for, how do you say these words? It's their money, and vice versa, instead of going through the US dollar. In doing so, China extends bilateral USD exempting currency arrangements beyond countries such as Russia, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia to now include the Latin American exporting powerhouse. So they're all joining in to get rid of the US dollar.
Yeah,
And
China just brokered a deal to open embassies and reopen diplomatic relationships with Iran and Saudi Arabia, which I think they haven't been talking for something like 7 years or something. But I think they're trying to get those countries who have all the oil to ditch the US dollar for the yuan or some other type of currency to trade oil in, which in turn would crash the US dollar, to my understanding.
yeah, it would crash us. Donald Trump was tweeting that it would, or maybe he wasn't tweeting it. He was saying that it would be the worst downfall in U.S. history.
Yeah,
in over 200 years or some shit.
This goes into some Fed talk, but when we went off the gold standard, we basically went on the oil standard because we were the reserve currency to trade energy globally, basically, because everything requires oil to some extent. But and so without that, there's no backstop for our dollar. But the way our government has been acting is that our money is infinite because we are backstopped by oil. So if you remove the infinity symbol attached to the US dollar, and then you consider how in debt we are, looks pretty glum, pretty gloom.
I think it would just completely fuck us. Because I wonder how much oil we really sit on that we don't want to use, and so we want to use everyone else's up first.
I think we have land rights, or within the US, including Alaska, there's enough to sustain us for a hot minute. We could produce all of the oil we need for a certain amount of time. But we have so many restrictions on pulling oil out of the ground that we don't do that.
Because we get it from elsewhere.
Well, yeah, and look who owns all the gas stations.
Who?
Well, like
Well-
Shell and Chevron and all these are not American companies.
Mobile, yeah, they're international global companies.
Yeah.
They don't once companies go international, they don't necessarily have their origin country in mind when they make business decisions. Because now they could just offshore their company to somewhere who has all the oil.
Those companies
Yeah.
started as American companies, though. I think.
Yeah, but I don't think they give a shit now.
I don't think they necessarily have
I
any
don't
kind
think
of national allegiance.
Chevron did. I think Chevron came from like Saudi Arabia or whatever.
I'm not 100% sure. I thought those were all American brands. That's why you have like BP and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up
And
real
like
quick. Let's look it
Texaco,
up.
was it Texaco? Who got in trouble for giving the Nazis like fuel and stuff like that? Wasn't it Texaco or something like that?
Ooh, that's a
I don't
good
know.
question.
Could have been. I'm trying to
I don't
look
know,
up.
but we have like, if you're talking about energy and what we have as a country, that was a question earlier pertaining to oil, but we have so much fucking natural gas that I think if we like you can run cars off natural gas, I think it's more dangerous. But if we could somehow figure out how to quickly flip combustion engines to accepting natural gas, I think we'd be like, oh, we're good.
Okay, maybe Chevron was. It says Chevron place founded as California. That just surprises me.
I think a couple of them are Texas based as well, like Texaco.
But I thought they all came from overseas.
No, they're heavily influenced by.
That's
yeah,
probably what it is.
imagine. Yeah, they probably get the bulk of their crude oil from over there. So imagine there's a lot of base of operations and.
I mean, to
it's
my
like a
understanding,
global company at this point, probably.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a limited understanding of how technology rose around the world, but we sparked the industrial revolution. We invented
Yes.
cars en masse. So I think we required oil before most places as far as mass consumption of it. I mean, Henry Ford started everyone having a car and
Yeah.
the moving away of horses. I don't think that was isolated to America, or I think it was isolated to America. There's obviously foreign car makers, but I don't think it wasn't the 20s when they popped up,
Yeah. I saw this video of people saying like,
I could be
Oh.
wrong.
I don't
So-
know. It seems weird that you had World War One, which would have had tanks. Yeah.
yeah.
I think as far as technology goes, it was us in Germany, and that's why World War II went the way it did.
And then Russia was right there too.
Yeah, by World War II, everybody kind of had everything, but we invented airplanes. We invented the assembly line for cars. Like, we are a bastion on a hill in a sense as far as making stuff.
We were.
I think we still got a lot of influence from Germany and all them over there, especially when it came
Yeah,
to
but-
science and all that.
What I'm saying is that wasn't until the 40s. In the 20s,
This shit was just getting started. Like they were getting machine guns and
So that's my explanation for why oil companies would originate here, is that the need for oil originated here to some extent, or the mass need of oil. I could be totally wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true.
prove it.
I don't care. That's not what this episode's called. It's called Lunartics.
Yeah, we're not even getting to the moon, dog. There's way too much shit. Okay, so China's trying to take over the dollar.
So yeah, I was trying to think of the
No, it's no
implications of
bueno.
that too. Like, at what point did the American dollar or the U.S. dollar become the world currency? Like, I would be interested in that kind of history.
Well, a bunch of countries love when you have
Who took us off the
US
gold standard?
dollars.
I'm sure we had the
But some
strongest dollar at the time that we took ourselves off the gold standard, but
So is that just it? It was the most valuable, so that's why it became the
It's,
world currency.
I think, yeah, it's like definitely one of the most valuable. So that's why
And we
everyone is
we
okay
help-
with taking it.
we held the most influence in the Middle East at the time, and basically have since until now. And China's walking in.
China's in the Middle East.
Yeah, they're brokering deals with Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
Something weird or I guess not super weird, but China is also expanding in Africa heavily as far as their businesses and influence and economies.
Well, they own like a lot of farmland in America, so it makes sense that they're just taking over.
Yeah, that as well. They're like seeding populations with influence. And I think China's pretty well renowned for sending nationals to other places who are still loyal to China, as far as like spying or just see something, say something.
What?
I mean, they had
You think China has sleeper agents?
I know they do. A congressman was dating one named Fang Fang.
How
I
long
think
ago was that?
I think it was Swalwell. Fang Fang?
I think there's a Community episode about that.
Well, she was born in 55. This might be a different person.
That may make sense.
Swalwell Chinese girlfriend.
I don't. Yeah. How are you even gonna look that up?
Suspected Chinese spy targeted California politics, including Eric Swalwell and Ro Khanna. Christine Fang. So it wasn't Fang Fang, it was Christine Fang.
Fang.
That's a real thing, though.
That's kind of ironic. The Community episode. I don't know.
And something important to expand upon as far as the Chinese ideology, as far as politics, world politics, geopolitics, all that stuff. We tend to work in terms of 4 to 8 years because that's when our presidents turn over. They think in terms of dynasties because that is their history, and they elect leaders. Let's be honest, they don't elect them. They're communists, so their length of time that they operate on is like exponential compared to ours. Maybe not exponential, but you understand what I'm saying. They think in terms of 30 years. We're thinking in terms of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think about the future.
Are you saying we're? I don't. I missed the point. I guess.
Well, I'm saying when you look at U.S. interactions globally, you have to understand that this is a 4-year plan. But when you look at Chinese global interactions, they've probably been planning whatever they're already doing because they probably already have the next 10 years planned as to what they're going to do. They're just waiting for keys to enact or like something to happen so they already know what move they're going to make.
Yeah. I think they have to, though. Like, not have to, but I think that's how they think they stay ahead is by like, well, if we're looking at, like, we've always said a bunch of, like, the government's probably technologically like 100 years more advanced than us, or even maybe not 100, but like 30 to 50, somewhere in there. So like,
yeah, I think
they're that technologically advanced. What are they doing with that? Same with China and all that. Same with all that of like, we're thinking 10 years ahead, 10 steps ahead of the mass, the community.
Yeah, and what's really weird when you add on top of the difference in styles of politicking as far as countries go, comparing communist to democratic, if you multiply that by like U.S.'s propaganda city, so we don't really know. Most of the shit that comes out is stuff that we are supposed to see because the media and the government have been hand in hand since the Church Committee, since before the Church Committee, since the 60s. The FBI or CIA has been implanting journalists. So when news breaks, you don't just go, "Oh my God, the news." And it's the same way in China, but here you have the air of it's true. But in China, it's like, this is what the government said, and what the government says goes.
Mm-hmm.
But here, it's like, this is what a journalist said. This could be real thoughts on paper, but a lot of the times it's not, and it's hidden. So when us three are trying to determine what is going on in the world between countries, we are under a cloud of propaganda, and the Chinese people are under a cloud of communism and totalitarian rule. So none of the populations of either of these countries really has a fucking clue what's going on.
I agree.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
100%. No, I think it's not as obvious in the States, but I think there's a mass, I don't know, attempt of propaganda to get people to believe a certain narrative, right?
Yeah, and I think it's not as obvious on purpose. And
no, it makes you feel ignorant. Like you think down on China for them having, I mean, not necessarily believing in it, but they're being under such oppression through the propaganda. It's so obvious. They're like, why? But it's happening to us. It's just not as obvious.
Being American, you're like, you're under the thumb. You don't know. Why would I?
Right.
Like, I'll not entertain your thoughts. And then they're looking at us going, dude, you're just eating pudding that someone put in front of you. And they told you it tastes good, so you keep eating it.
That's what I wonder, like how many countries just like talk about how we're the stupid ones.
That was
Well, I think sorry. I'm gonna go though. And so I think the way that you have to base how other countries think of us is what they do under what president. And I think that
We're a laughingstock right now.
that gleans respect around the world for Donald Trump. I'm not trying to simp for Donald Trump, but Russia didn't invade. China wasn't doing shit. He was threatening to pull out of NATO and shit. And so everyone was like, no, stop. This is insane. Everyone mind your P's and Q's. There's a crazy guy in the White House. And then Biden, who's proven to be getting money from China, China's surrounding Taiwan. We'll get into that. That's like the next story. On a drill. Who drills to surround a fucking island, by the way?
We need to understand the
Russia
situation.
invades Ukraine.
We need to, if we're going to invade, what would that look like? Can we run a scenario in which we invade?
Yeah.
This is just a trial run. Just so that whenever if we choose to do so.
They were having like live fire drills and going, Taiwan, don't worry, we're not invading yet, but just
if we were, this is what it would look like.
Yeah, look around, I guess. This is a drill. Fire drills are a little tame compared to actual fires. Just keep that in mind.
I mean, at the least, is that not that's intimidation, right? At the least.
Oh yeah, and I think, so I don't think they have to intimidate Taiwan at all. I think Taiwan goes, if China brings the full force of China to Taiwan, we're fucked. Like Hong Kong, fucked. I think they're intimidating us.
I think that's what they're doing. Is they're trying to
Taiwan's
start
our ally.
They're trying to start a fucking World War III. That's exactly what they're trying to start by like slowly invading these different countries. They're just seeing how much money they can get out of us and how far they can push us before we fucking get involved. But we only get involved when it gets brought onto our turf. Well,
or it's
not
NATO
really,
country.
or it's a NATO country. But like
Ukraine's not even NATO, but the same sentiment there. But have you ever? I used to play this Star Wars card game. It was similar to like Pokemon or something, but every turn there was an element called attrition. And then later in life, I learned what attrition is, and it's basically like siege warfare, like where you surround a castle, and they accrue attrition, and they run out of food, and then you wear them out over time. I think that's what China is doing. They're watching Ukraine and watching us give them billions and billions of dollars and sending them all of our stockpiles of weapons and shit, not to mention all the shit we just left in Iran, who they just brokered a deal with. That's kind of crazy, right? Or Afghanistan. I don't think they've been talking to Afghanistan, so nix that. But you understand what I'm saying. They're playing a game of attrition because they work on these 30-year terms, not these 4-year terms. And so they're watching us back Ukraine going, oh, they're putting too many chips in that pile. Let's see what they do if we surround Taiwan. Let's see how many chips they have left on the table. And that's what they're doing. And if we don't show that we have chips left, they're going to go, oh, well, fuck it. Taiwan's ours. Called their bluff. That's the game China's playing. And there's a lot of sentiment to where their economy is a paper tiger and they're not really that strong of a country or whatever. And the only way they have any chance of success of doing anything they want to as far as running the Southeast Sea, South Asian Sea, would be with Russia. But is still scary to think about. If China and Russia team up, I mean, that's formidable at a minimum, right? Am I talking
That's
too much?
fucked.
No,
No,
that's always been the
that's,
fears that if they teamed up, right? And
if
then
they
North
teamed
Korea
up,
somehow.
yeah, that's the ultimate enemy.
I don't think they. I mean, I don't know if I agree with them trying to intimidate us. I don't think that's. I don't know.
We're the
They have
only
our
reason,
attention.
we're the only reason they don't have Taiwan. We're the only reason they don't have South Korea.
I don't think anybody would dare to intimidate us. That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
Oh,
they
no.
do.
Unless
They
you have
would.
somebody like Biden in the White House.
You're telling
Biden
me
in the
no
way,
one-
but
yeah.
then if those like Clayton just said, if you have Russia and China and who'd you say as well?
Iran, Saudi
North
Arabia.
Korea, Iran, Saudi Arabia, all these different
Argentina,
countries.
apparently.
All these
Yeah.
different countries start teaming together,
If the BRICS nations,
and all we have is Canada to back us up. I'm just kidding.
no, we have all of NATO, but we support NATO to like at least 50% of NATO. It's just us, but there's like 8 other countries or something crazy. But shit, I got off my point. Oh, if the BRICS nations, which is Brazil, Russia, India. What's C? China.
China.
What's S?
China, South Korea, no, Saudi Arabia.
I don't know. What is it? You said Argentina. For some reason, I think they're in there. I don't know. Anyways, if that conglomeration of economic partners goes to war, more than just Russia invading Ukraine, they already have a economic pact. Like, you can kind of assume the sides there, except for India because they hate China. But I think India is trying to deal with everybody because they have so many people and they're so large and they're trying to grow their economy and become a first world country. They're mostly succeeding. They do still have a lot of like China and India are kind of weird because they have so many people that their range of wealth, like, it's not very good here, but they have so many people in utter poverty, like on 2 cents a day or whatever, that it's hard to gauge their alliances based on their economic dealings because they're trying to become a first world country. Less China, more India is what I'm talking about. Sorry, that was a weird tangent. I probably shouldn't have gone down. But there's one more China thing, I
I'm
think,
trying to understand it.
on the. Oh no, that was basically it. So China surrounded Taiwan. That was supposed to end yesterday. Taiwan can still see. Skip a link and go to China still hasn't really left Taiwan and pull that up. Taiwan reports 91 Chinese aircraft, 12 ships in its air defense zone, and that's today. The drill was supposed to end yesterday. So maybe they're slow getting out, but probably they're not. On Monday, the China's People's Liberation Army Navy said this is yesterday, they said they completed the exercise called Joint Sword around the island, which took place from the 8th to the 10th. So they said it was over yesterday, but they're still basically in Taiwan. I mean, 91 aircrafts isn't anything to shake your dick at, you know?
No,
That's a lot.
Just to do it in the first place, I
I
don't
know, like,
It seems
Okay,
crazy.
now, well, let's try to reverse engineer it then, based off what I have just explained. Find a reason that China would surround Taiwan.
the people.
To protect it.
Under a drill. Okay, it's a sovereign country as far as the rest of the world is concerned, except for China's allies.
To
The
quarantine
people,
it?
the resources.
To what?
Shut it off from the world? Quarantine it?
Like blockade it?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's Star Wars. It's how you force them to sign a treaty or something like that.
Attrition.
Yeah. That's what the Trade Federation did to the Naboo.
Now, what do you
Fact.
think Taiwan's mindset is if China surrounds their island? Do you think they have any chance without allies?
No.
Do you think that they think they have a chance without allies?
They would probably fight until they die, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure they would do the honorable thing, but do you think they really have a chance? Do you think this is the Alamo? Everyone at the Alamo knew they were going to die.
Yeah.
Taiwan knows this is the Alamo. If China knows that Taiwan knows it's the Alamo, if they surround them, then why would China prove they could do it without doing it?
To show them that they can do it.
To scare off anyone who might help them.
Yeah.
So they are
like, hey,
intimidating us.
we can fucking do this. What's up?
Yeah. That's why I think it's
And
gonna
we
be
got
crazy.
Russia and Saudi Arabia and all these other countries right here behind us. So it's like a gang of all these countries.
Yeah. Not to say that we're Taiwan's only ally, but to say that China is trying to scare Taiwan's allies, and China knows that Taiwan makes all of our computer chips.
Everybody's computer chips. That's why China wants them.
Yeah, but China's capable of making their own computer chips. They're probably worse.
Made in China. No, I don't know. It's a tricky. I didn't know a lot about it until I was reading up on it today, but I didn't realize it's been going on for what, 70 years.
They're not talking about it.
Yeah, because they're not talking about it. But that, like, if we're talking about World War III nuclear war shit, that is the temperature of the world right now, as far as warfare and the threat of nuclear arms and World War III or whatever. To be so brazen as to surround an island that is sworn protection from an adversary. We have a deal with Taiwan that if they're attacked, we protect them.
Do we have an actual agreement like that?
Yes. Okay. We have.
So proportionally,
A
wouldn't that be
military
the same
agreement with
as
Taiwan.
us aiding Ukraine?
Yes,
And
I do agree to that.
an exact proportion of what's happening there.
Actually, what's going on in Ukraine is probably a little bit worse. If you want to pull up the next link while I go on this little tirade, it's relevant. So we couped Ukraine in like 2014 or something. We took over their government. We've been using them as like a depository for dirty money for 10 years, probably now. Which Russia fucking hated the whole time. And so Russia finally decided that was not okay. And most of eastern Ukraine, the Donbass region, which they took very quickly, spoke Russian and considered themselves mostly Russian, as far as I know. So we're really dealing with West Ukraine, who is we're a different country, Ukraine. But they're not NATO, but all of NATO is supporting them. And NATO was not supposed to encroach closer to Russia, but it's like 4 countries away that we have.
Well,
And
I mean,
then when
Ukraine would be next door.
Yeah, and when it looked like Ukraine was too buddy-buddy with NATO and America and looking like they were trying to go that way, Ukraine was like, no, dude, you can't have a NATO country on my border. That's insane. So what Russia is doing is the most wrong you can do. You should never invade another sovereign country. But also, you can't say they weren't provoked into it. Now, China and Taiwan, to my understanding, is unprovoked.
Is it?
I don't know.
As far as I know.
So the way I understand it, there was a war between the communists and the republic in China, and
Yeah, there was like a civil war.
and the losers went to Taiwan.
Yeah, the former legitimate government of China fled to Taiwan and the communists took over.
Right, and that's why everybody supports Taiwan, because they were the republic.
Yeah.
They got
'cause
overthrown by the
communism is
communists. Right.
So if China went, hey, I'm taking Taiwan too, that no one has flipped Taiwan. Taiwan is the rebels who found an island. Does that make sense? But as far as Ukraine and Russia go, Ukraine's been one of the most corrupt countries for a very long time. and now they're directly dealing with Russia's direct enemies. The Cold War was fucking 40 years, dude. And their next door neighbor is like doing deals under the table with the president's son. That's insane. Or I guess it's above board because he's on the board of Burisma, that gas company in Ukraine. There's a lot to unpack there. I don't know if we want to go into the entire thing because the news is that the Pentagon, there's shit leaked from the Pentagon as far as how Russia and Ukraine are doing in the war. So what we've been fed from the media is Ukraine is winning and they just need this much more money to keep going. Blah, blah, blah. Let's send them billions. But what's really happening is Ukraine is kind of getting their ass kicked. And all of Russia's troops so far have been conscripts, which are like immigrants that are forced to go to war, essentially, in Russia. Mm-hmm. And so that was leaked to Discord somehow. Somehow, there was an argument on a Discord server, and one of them used like top secret documents to prove the other one wrong.
Yeah.
It's like kind of stupid. And then someone leaked that to 4chan, and 4chan did what 4chan does and spread it around the globe.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, the people who are most concerned as far as like the intelligence agencies and heads of intelligence committees and whatever are saying it's top secret and it's really bad that it got out. We need to find out who leaked it. But also some of it doesn't look right, which to me sounds like this is fucking real and you're terrified that this got out.
I wonder how it leaks out like that. Just whistleblowers or what?
I don't know. Some dude trying to win a fucking Discord argument, I guess.
Yeah, like the fact that they're top secret and he just revealed them like that. It's pretty weird. He must have been pissed.
I mean, if history proves itself, whoever leaked it, if and when they get found out, I assume they already know who did it. I can't imagine with today's technology they don't go, oh, it was this computer and this flash drive at this time. Guess who was sitting there? We have a camera staring at it at that at that exact moment. I mean, the government doesn't go, wow, Edward Snowden really fucked us. You know what? Let's keep taking it light. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's what happens. But regardless, I think it's embarrassing that shit got leaked for the government
because of an argument in Discord.
Yeah.
Show you.
But it's also it's also showing that like it's really easy to call Russia a shitty army or force or whatever, and they're having trouble even taking Ukraine. It's been a year or whatever. But also, I think Ukraine is obviously losing. I think that's what these documents are showing.
I feel like I've heard both sides of that argument.
The government is so butthurt. Do what?
I feel like I've heard both sides of that argument that it's Russia that's getting their ass kicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what the toady talking point was. But I think in real life, Ukraine's not doing great. I don't see what is in it for us to help Ukraine. Yeah. Great point, Molasses.
Yeah, let's say money laundering. Hell yeah. And
Eastern European influence. I mean, if you wanted to spy on Russia, wouldn't it be great to have a country right next door where you could find Eastern Europeans who also hated Russia to infiltrate or whatever? I don't know. I mean, when we've gone through a lot of the history stuff and the actual like conspiracy story things, and a lot of that espionage is real. Like, it wasn't just movies. It wasn't Rocky and Bullwinkle talking to Natasha and Boris, you know? It was like, this shit's actually happening. I think it was when we went through the MK Ultra stuff.
I mean, all of fiction would be based on nonfiction. So.
True. I feel like a lot of stuff that's in movies is like it's happened in real life, and that's where they put it in movies sometimes first in order to make you be accustomed to it. So when it happens in real life, you would be like not really believing that it's there, and that can only happen in movies.
I get your point because there was a bunch of shows. There's like 3 or 4 examples of the Twin Towers being attacked before 9/11. One of them being a new show, like 6 months before 9/11. One of the plots of one of the shows was this. It was like 24 or something like that esque show. But he's on a plane flying towards the Twin Towers, saying they're going to crash into the Twin Towers, and then 6 months later, that exact
I remember
thing.
hearing about that.
It happened in The Simpsons.
Simpsons is predicted a lot, actually.
There, yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Ooh, that should be an episode. What all has The Simpsons predicted?
That'd be fun.
There was one other thing, but I can't remember what it was.
Because they know they are given that information and they put it out in the episodes.
I think you're right, but I think that their easy excuse is like, oh, that's who wouldn't think that? It's just a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a very famous monument in New York. If you were going to attack New York, you're going to attack the Twin Towers, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what about the Statue of Liberty?
That's what I was. Yeah. No, don't give anyone ideas.
Yeah, don't put that out there. Don't put that in the universe.
You know what? I bet that's already in a bunch of movies or TV shows, and
it gets
distorted, so it hasn't hit that revolving like confirmation bias aspect.
What about when Wolverine's fighting Sabretooth on the Statue of Liberty in X-Men 1, and then boom, a fucking plane hits it.
What if, man?
Kills them both, and then X-Men's over.
Have you guys seen Planet of the Apes?
Yeah. Hang on, before you go into that, I want to see Magneto use the Statue of Liberty like a mech.
Oh, yeah. God.
Anyway, Planet of the Apes.
They blew up the Statue of Liberty. I don't know. That was it.
What are we moving on to? We kind of glazed over the leaks, mostly because I didn't actually read them. I just watched people talk about them and what basically they said.
The Pentagon leaks?
Yeah, I don't know what I think if you Google the Pentagon leaks right now, that's what pops up, but I don't think it's anything. I don't think they have a name like the Panama Papers or something like that, What are these going to be called? The Discord Ukraine argument leaks?
Yeah. It's not that catchy.
So let's move down to the next link, onto the next topic, unless y'all want to comment further on.
How they leak. Yeah.
Maybe they just throw leak and stuff to throw off the trail of other leaks. Because are we done talking about the Twitter leak?
No, we can keep going. I'm just out of shit to say.
How they leaked?
No. That's the Discord thing.
Okay. National Security Council coordinates comments.
I didn't find anything interesting there. I saw a clip on Twitter. I didn't find it when I was watching the video. But the clip on Twitter was like, he was upset with the journalist saying, like, you're not supposed to be looking at these things. Because they're like top secret leaked documents. He was getting pissed that people were looking at them. It was like, dude, they leaked. What are you talking about? It reminded me of I don't remember even what the leak was, but CNN was saying it's illegal to look at these, but we're journalists, so you can just listen to us talk about them. And it was like, that is not how this works.
Yeah, it's weird.
What does it say before an NFL game? These images cannot be rebroadcast without the explicit written consent of.
Yeah, it's like the government is trying to say that about whistleblowers. It's like, no,
hey, we haven't had time to vet this, or like,
you're not charging money for this shit. Actually, you are.
It's pretty embarrassing.
I saw something. I didn't pull any links up, but it's tangentially related.
Dish. What was that word?
Tangentially.
Tangentially.
Google it.
Mm-mm.
It was appropriate. It was something like Biden is opening or is doing a campaign to pay online influencers to either talk good about the government or his job or something specific to him getting elected. But like he's using taxpayer money to pay influencers to talk good about the government. It's like propaganda on its face. I should find an article before I talk about this.
Maybe. Just maybe.
I mean, they already did this during COVID and got caught, but no one really gave a shit. This says Biden White House teams up with TikTok influencers to help tout record on social media. They're trying to reach young people. The Biden White House has teamed up with TikTok influencers and more in a new effort to tout his record on social media and reach young people. So he's enlisting the help of hundreds of influencers to help him increase his standing among young voters. He's also reportedly considering giving the influencers their own briefing room at the White House. Does it sound weird for the president to pay people to say good shit about him on social media?
I think that position already exists. He has a press secretary, right?
Sounds like he needs to.
Yeah, but he doesn't have 15,000 TikTokers.
I think it's just an evolution of that position. You used to have one person facing a few cameras for a few news agencies. Now you have like a team of TikTokers. Yeah, that makes sense.
He said he's running again in 2024, and
I saw the interview of Trump trying to.
Hang on, dude. Hang on. He has to pay these people to do this.
Get cut off.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He has to pay the influencers to do what they're doing, right?
He does, or we do.
Exactly. Who's paying them?
Probably us.
I'm just saying, like the White House would employ people to represent the White House interests. Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, but okay. No, not really. In a getting shit done sense, like you have a job, I need you to do this, go do this, yes. On an influence scale, no.
What does a PR rep do?
Why does the president have a fucking PR rep?
I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying, like it makes sense that they would have a PR rep to kind of swing whatever they're trying to swing.
Well,
and I would argue that
shit out of pocket.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know how it's funded. I think it should be a personal finance. I don't know about that. Maybe it should be like a party finance. Like maybe the DNC should be paying for it.
DNC pays for it.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
But
because
for
people have
to
to donate to the DNC.
Yeah, I don't know.
This begs the question: are they getting paid out of taxpayer dollars? If
that would
they
be
are,
my only hiccup on it.
fuck that.
Otherwise, I don't really give a shit.
That's
It's
true.
still the White House.
Yeah, I mean, he lives at the White House. Why wouldn't you have your PR team there? Just don't make me pay for it. All right, you brought me back to sanity.
I mean, I don't know how it's being paid for. I'm sure we could look that up. And if it is tax money, then
That's stupid.
I don't even know if that's fair, because if it's tax money, it would be being the tax money of the people that elected that president. So
Hang on, though. A president peddling influence is propaganda, and I'm anti-propaganda.
any presidential debate is presidential propaganda. They get up there to try to influence people on their beliefs, their ideas.
Yeah, but they have an adversary saying the exact opposite. I'm cool with paying for presidential debates. I'm not cool for paying for presidential ass kisses or Dalai Lama tongue sucks.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway.
It's break time if y'all want to take it.
How did we land on it? It is break time. Look at that.
A lot of shit we just talked about.
The top of the hour we usually take a break, so we're going to do that because I need some more refreshments. And then we'll be right back. So you'll get the waiting screen, unless you're watching on YouTube days later, because we're going to cut this part out and immediately cut back to me going, and we're back. So until then. And we're back. But you're just going to see this cut.
And we're back.
We're back. Anyways.
Yeah, we should figure that out better.
Probably.
I have a personal announcement.
Hmm.
May I have the floor?
Yes, you
The
do
floor.
95% of the show.
I know, the floor that I take, regardless of if you give it to me or not. I'm having a baby, and it's a boy. And I just want to share that with the world. I'm very excited about it.
That's amazing. So happy for you.
So part of the missing shows aspect of this has been a little bit that life's getting a little weirder than it has been in the past. Hey, Mayo's here.
Congratulations. Do you have a name picked out, right?
I do. I don't know if I want to say it publicly on the internet, though.
Interesting. That's probably smart. You know, whenever the baby comes, you need to mark it with like a Sharpie right when it comes out, right? You heard
Yeah.
about that? Okay.
I'm bringing a can of spray paint. I'm naming him Goldface. Nah, not really.
Project Midnight. Wait, what was it called?
Operation Midnight
Operation
Climax.
Midnight.
Dang.
No, no. That was a MK Ultra operation. That's real.
Right. That actually happened. That's fact. Our government did that.
Good job, government.
Yeah. Now I can't remember what it was called. I'm just thinking of MK Ultra. Anyway, Lil Wasabi. There you go. That's what. Oh, you can call him Wabi.
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 You said him, right? You said boy. It was a boy.
Damn it, Wabi.
Damn it, Wabi.
All right, let's get back into the show. Thank you all for your kind words.
Neat.
Just click on the next link, dude. First to the second page, I guess. Fuck, there's 3 pages. We gotta skip some of this.
What's it called?
Oh, you want me to tell everybody what we're about to talk about before you just pull up the article?
Is it FBI?
Yeah, man. The first one on the second page, we're all looking at the same document.
They don't know what I'm talking about by saying the FBI. We've talked about the FBI.
They know you're talking about the FBI.
Oh, Sprinkle's calling you out.
Oh, I did. Damn. All right.
Stupid.
I'll do some editing. There's not that many people here. I can erase that from the internet still.
Put the name on social media.
Did you pull up the article? What are we doing here, man?
There's the article. This guy's face.
Oh, is it really?
FBI flags slang terms Chad-based red-pilled it's over to target racially motivated violent extremists. In other words, incels?
It's not what I know from Chad or based or red pilled. I can go with it's over. I'll let you search for it's over.
What?
Have y'all heard those terms?
No.
I've heard
of Chad. I've heard of based. I've heard of red pilled.
I've never heard
Red-pilled,
it's
yeah.
over.
I've never heard of it's over. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
So I'm cool with the FBI flagging it's over. Not really. But like, why are they flagging this? I understand it says racially motivated violent extremists, but these are very vague internet terms, no? These are just slang.
Yeah. It seems like a load of BS. What are they gonna flag it and then do what? Have to go through every conversation that mentions red pilled?
Yeah, I don't know. Like
Red pilled, red pilled, red pilled, red pilled, red pilled. The FBI sucks. Red pilled.
obviously we're not in any racially motivated violent extremist groups. So I don't know what their terminology is, but I hear this terminology a lot in like real normal shit on the internet, right?
I mean, you're the one plugged into 4chan, I guess.
It's not even on 4chan, it's on Twitch. If you watch people stream politics on Twitch, which we are on right now, this is how they talk. They're on Twitch. Twitch bans everyone, dude.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You think we're gonna get banned for saying red pill?
No, but I think
No.
it's weird that the FBI is flagging it. I know you don't get banned for saying red pill. I know that because I watch people on Twitch who talk politics and say those first 3 words over and over and over. They're not like crazy people. Well, they're trying to be entertaining on Twitch, so they do act a little crazy, but it's not racially motivated violent people.
How is
on Twitch.
Chad racially motivated? I don't understand that. And none of these are racially motivated. They're just Chad
That's what
is
I'm
just
saying.
anybody that acts like a douchebag, I thought.
Yeah, it's like a classic jock or whatever.
But that has nothing to do with race.
Right.
And based doesn't have anything to do with race. Red pill might imply like white
Red pill's-
supremacy or something like that.
No, red pill is a Matrix meme.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, no. Anyways.
It's do you take the red or the blue pill?
And then it'll say which one.
Yeah, but the
And-
red pill would imply that.
My understanding of the meme being translated into like the social context is
I
that
100% agree with you.
red pilled is you don't believe in the government, and blue pilled is like you're buying every line.
I think you had that
That's
backwards.
what I know red pill, blue pill mean.
I think you have those backwards.
Based is just the FBI trolling us. Oh, that's hilarious.
I agree too. I think it's just some other BS they're throwing out there to trigger people.
It's goofy.
It is goofy. No.
And you know it's goofy because they told whatever website this is to write that, the Post Millennial.
There's a move against conspiracy this year. They don't want us believing in conspiracies. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Well,
totally don't.
yeah, they don't want you to believe in. Yeah, the CIA is the one who invented the conspiracy
Yeah, the
Term.
phrase conspiracy theory.
phrase. Yeah. Yeah. So like they're like, yeah, don't believe that. It's crazy. We would never do that.
All right, we 20 years ago we flagged conspiracy. Now we're adding based.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone else in the meeting room goes based.
Based. That's something based people would do.
That's so stupid.
Square.
Dude,
Yeah.
most of the shit that's going on is stupid.
That does seem pretty stupid.
It hits a little
Chad.
close to home.
Like, I'm surprised you don't see OK Boomer in there, right?
Right. This probably got put in 3 years ago, dog.
It's stupid.
I have to imagine their like catalog of every hit they got on the entire internet of all of those phrases is a flood.
Yeah.
Do they just have like filters?
Every Reddit thread ever.
And when they release one of these, they're just adding a filter.
What is
Totally.
a Lunartic?
This was supposed to be a moon landing conspiracy episode, and we didn't do it.
I mean, we still can do it. It won't take long.
That's true. Why don't? Do you want to do that now? We haven't talked about
No.
the Trump indictment.
There's still a few things to talk about.
We'll call it
It's been
8:30.
weeks, man.
8:30.
8:30 we start moon
It's
landing.
supposed to be a combination of the faked moon landing theory, and then a combination of current events. Just crazy people doing crazy things right now.
Yeah,
There you go. You happy, mayonnaise?
there's a play on words. It's also a great pop punk band name, and I've already called it.
We're already starting it. We got practice this weekend, actually.
Yeah, it's us three. Who's playing what? Who fucking knows?
Can I play the guitar?
I'm playing guitar
Not in pop punk, dude.
because I can't play guitar that well at all.
You don't need a. Can you cover Hysteria by Muse? Only if you
I'll
learn
sing-
the bass line.
I'll sing like Tom DeLonge.
If Mayonnaise learns the bass line of Hysteria, I will 100% learn the rest of the song. Any instrument.
I don't want to do any of these things. I'm out.
Oh,
That's the crazy
on,
bass
dog.
line that's like arpeggios, right? Like do 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 do. Right?
Who
Like
knows?
Man
Who listens
Overboard?
to Muse, dude?
Muse is great.
Muse is a good band. Or
Yeah,
guy.
but
It's just the one guy, right?
they're like
No, it's
Green
three
Day.
of them. No, you
They're
shut
like-
the fuck up. No,
Muse
you
I
shut
thought
the
was
fuck
the
up.
lead
No,
singer, like does
no.
everything.
Like, you're gonna appreciate this. They're like Green Day in that they're probably good, but I don't like them.
Probably. Okay, listen. Green Day's a little washed up now, but back in their prime, pristine. Muse is very, very musically talented. That dude he plays keyboard, he plays guitar, he sings, he does all that.
I think he supports the drums. He does everything.
He's got a XY.
There's 3 of them though. They have a drummer. I don't think he does the drums.
I'm saying like he probably writes all the arrangements and like the drum parts and everything, and then he tours with a band.
Hey guys, so Trump was indicted.
There we go.
Muse is a good band. I stand firm on that.
I think Muse is a good band. I don't like that particular style of music, but I appreciate the talent behind them. How about that?
The latest album they just put out has a bunch of different genres on it. I highly suggest going and listening to it.
It's not even the genre. Music. Like it's still rock. I get it.
It gets like hardcore. Like he starts like screaming. There's like double bass involved. It's some killer shit.
My ass won't
stand down. Won't stand down. Go listen to that song.
I like Muse.
Can we stop talking about Muse, please?
No, you brought it up.
I'm sorry. I didn't bring it up. Mayo brought it up.
Fucking Mayo.
Y'all are letting Mayo win. He tries to derail the show every time.
I got invited to a Muse concert, like at American Airlines or something like that, and I was like, you know what? I don't really care either way. I could, if you got somebody else that really wants to go. And then they told me the opener was Phantogram. I was like, I'm not missing that shit. I will be there. And then Phantogram didn't even play, so I missed the only reason I really went. Sorry.
That's funny.
Anyways, Trump did get indicted.
Nah, dog, let's just talk about the moon.
The moon?
Yeah, let's go to the moon.
We do need to talk about Trump getting arrested or indicted because he wasn't arrested. They didn't put handcuffs on him. Did he get read his Miranda rights?
I don't know.
Flew to Manhattan and they walked him in like the billionaire he is. He pleaded not guilty and then he left.
Yeah, I saw a picture of him at the table or whatever. I looked more into because it had a huge buildup. I gotta peace out for a second.
It did have a big buildup. I would say probably 5 years in the making now, right? 6 years. I think he still fully plans on running in 2024, right?
Yes, he is. I heard just the other day, this probably changed now, but he was highest in the polls.
I think I heard the opposite of that. But I did see an interview of him talking
So it was like Monday. No, what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, this was yesterday.
This would have been today. So. But so, no, I did.
Maybe he's not.
I did see an interview of him and talking about Biden, and it was like just confirming everything we said. That, he's not all there or something. Like somebody asked him a simple question and he just like went on this weird tangent for like 15 minutes and didn't really answer the question. He was just talking nonsense.
Yeah. Mentally he's gone. There's a conspiracy right now that there's more than one Biden because they're saying that he has like different earlobes in different interviews.
That would be saying hilarious.
That people just and like the real one died in like 2017. I don't know. I don't follow it too much, but pretty funny.
We talked about it on one of the shows. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. Sorry, but it's the White House, right? So it's somebody just using Biden as a puppet to do stuff.
Well, look! Holy shit! So if Disney can take old, like audio footage or just audio clips and footage of people that have died in order to make their characters like young again, making Leia young, making Luke young, all this different shit. Like they could do that with a human in the White House for interviews.
Dude, all the deep fakes and the AI voices, like the shit I send you on Instagram all the time of the AI voices playing like Call of Duty together or something.
Mm.
Those get me every time, dude. Biden, Trump, and Obama playing Minecraft or something together.
The one where they
took
make
my Fortune
song.
3X. No, Trump, I did not take your Fortune 3X. I've left it in the chat, and then it's hilarious.
There's one where they make a killer like funk song, and like they're like playing the bass in Logic, and it's showing all the instruments.
Listen to this drop.
Yeah. The very end's like, grab him by the pussy. They're like, oh, Trump, no, why'd you say that? No.
No, those are hilarious, but I'm saying like those are just probably something somebody dialed up in a computer in like 10 minutes. But if somebody like put effort into it, they could create like a fake news pressing and just have Biden say whatever they wanted to say, right? So I don't know. I feel like, especially some of the stuff they've been showing lately, he's just not all there mentally. So it will be interesting if they get to the point of debates and stuff, and they try to put Biden up there on stage, especially against somebody like Trump, and they try to debate Trump. I think Biden's going to get the floor washed on him. Is that
I don't think Biden can defend himself like he did last time, because last time it was like putting two fucking 4-year-olds in a room and just letting them yell at each other.
I don't really agree.
It was more, dude, like Trump wouldn't shut the fuck up, and then he just like, Mr. Trump, please, Mr. Trump, please, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump. And then he's like, and then Biden was trying to say his like what you would call like corporate answers, just like by the book shit, every single question. And he's like telling Trump how immature he's acting. Like that's all those fucking debates were.
Yeah, Muse does suck.
Shut the fuck up. Leave. You weren't even a part of this conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What were y'all talking
It's
about?
all right. Just how, dude, I was saying how Biden, well, he's saying Biden's not all there, and I was saying there's a conspiracy saying that Biden has been dead and there's other people dressing as him and doing those interviews and shit.
Ooh, I like that one. It's
Because he has different, they're saying he has different earlobes in different interviews. I don't know.
Man,
I don't
listen,
know.
it's ridiculous, but it's so fun to think about.
Yeah,
that's some Jason Bourne shit.
But also think about how, like, I was saying a good example is like how Disney made Luke and Leia young again for scenes that were created in the past few years, and how they used like old audio clips and shit of their voice and stuff they've said in order to put out the words. So they could be doing that for him.
You think they're deep faking Biden?
That's what we're talking about.
I think they probably had to have done that at least a couple of times at this point.
Damn. So I know I'm like a conspiracy theorist, but you gotta swing with some facts on that one.
Yeah,
I'm like,
zero,
I don't know,
zero
man.
facts to support that, but
yeah, it's zero completely. I'm just
like that is a tantalizing thought, and I like thinking about it, but it is as fake as the moon landing.
That's one of those like
moon landing.
As real as the moon landing.
Things like this.
It's real.
As real as the moon landing.
It's as real as the first moon landing, which didn't happen.
It did.
Who knows?
Happen.
It happened, just not. I don't think it happened when they said it happened.
You
know what I'm saying?
Exactly how they said it happened.
Well, you know what? So did the Bible. How about that?
I think the Bible happened just like they said it happened.
I fucking doubt it.
I think there was a flood.
Well, I can agree, and I think that Noah was like smart and only took animals because like all you people suck.
Yeah, but Drake's what Drake means is, but what about Jonah and the whale? I mean,
yeah, come on, dog.
Explain Pinocchio.
Or like Samson getting his hair cut off and losing all his strength.
Yeah, but no one says Pinocchio happened.
Yeah, Pinocchio? What the fuck are you even talking about?
So I understand the allegorical similarities, but Pinocchio is a story, and some people believed Pinocchio was real 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's way different than someone believing the Bible is real 100%.
Is it?
Technically, no, but one is a religion and one is a fable, is my point. It'd be like someone still reads the Odyssey and is like, this is real. This is what happened.
The Odyssey did happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
Is it the Iliad? It's the one with all the gods.
Yeah, both. Yeah. The Odyssey is his travel away from Troy back home, and he gets caught up in all these different scenarios. That happened. Yeah, it's a true story. I was there.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
The moon landing being real. I guess we're there. We're at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made a good point pre-show, saying like there'd be too many people involved for it to be fake, and I really agree with that. But at the same time,
I wanted to
don't
walk through.
agree
So, what are the leading conspiracy theories that the moon landing was fake? So, the first one you hear about.
Is the flag.
So the flag's pretty easily explainable. There's no
We need
atmosphere.
to further our context. There are leading theories about why the moon landing is fake, and one of them is that the flag on the moon was waving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the
Explain
lunar
it.
surface is frozen. It's a very hard surface. They're having to like jab this flagpole into the ground, right?
Mhm.
Like, it didn't just slide in. I mean, even if it did just slide in, but they're stabbing into the ground, trying to get into the ground, and they're shaking the pole, like oscillating it, trying to get it into the ground to stay. That would have caused the flag to wave. And especially if there was zero air resistance, if there's no atmosphere, there's no friction, it would just wave continuously, and there's nothing to stop it.
But wouldn't it just be like, it's so cold in space? Wouldn't it be too hard to just bust through that easily?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they had to work it into the ground. So those vibrations of them wiggling it and hammering it into the ground would have caused the flag to wave. Yeah, just shake, wait.
Shake weight, yeah.
But that would have caused the flag to wave. And then there's no friction, there's no atmosphere, there's nothing in the air to slow it down. So it just waves. That seems pretty easy to explain to me.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Hang on. Okay, what I need.
The conspiracy is that there's wind blowing the flag. That's why the flag is waving. It's caught in wind.
Because they're on a set. Yeah.
But no, it's just from the oscillation of them.
I would like to see an astronaut at the ISS wave a flag. That's got to be a video somewhere, right? How do you think that waves?
That would be the same point that I'm making.
He would be in 0G. I know, but you'd have to say it waves the same way. But if it doesn't,
they went pretty far extreme with it. They were saying the oscillation of the flag in the video that's in contention actually matches like the formula for the gravitational pull that is actually there. Like if it's 0.08% of the Earth's gravity, if they plug that into the formula of the flag waving, it like matches up perfectly. So I don't know.
So there is a picture, which I put the picture in the notes under the moon landing, where the astronaut Michael Collins aboard the Apollo 11. There's a photo of him in the middle of a spacewalk photo that was published of him in the training exercise, except it had been edited and they flipped his body around and took out all the stuff. You can like literally pull it up for the chat. So under Drake notes, yeah,
it's
right there.
It's the one where he's like kind of floating or whatever.
It looks like he's floating, but you can definitely tell they just edited it and flipped his body.
What is this supposed to be?
This is one of the astronauts. Are you showing it?
The one on the left was a known test for 0G, and the one on the right is the same photo flipped with the gamma way the fuck up and like the background blurred out. So it looks like he's in space, and they used that same photo as a spacewalk picture. Is the argument.
That's exactly it.
And that seems compelling. These are very similar angles.
I mean, I would agree that those are the same pictures, just inverted and edited.
And so now we're going to dabble into the idea that I most subscribe to, in that you could prove to me that there's a lot of propaganda about going to space, enough to convince me, if you tried really hard, that we didn't do some of the stuff we said we did, meaning going to the moon, or that we couldn't prove we did it, so we had to fake a lot of it. So I think a lot of it, as far as the images and media and stuff, is faked, but I think we probably did go to the moon. I don't think you make that lie.
I think
that's a crazy lie. If you're talking geopolitically, just be like, "No, fuck you, we did it."
Yeah.
Did you? Yep. There's a flag up there, probably.
I think at the
we
most
did.
But I know we have sensors on the moon and we bounce lasers off. So I know we've been there.
I don't think.
But I don't know if a person's been
sensors
there
to do that. But
that's the other thing. If we just flew there, the takeoff was real. like we were saying a minute ago, the takeoff is real. Everyone's watching it live on TV. They circle around the moon and then they come right back. But everything filmed was in a set just to show like, well, we touched base and we beat Russia and we're leading the Cold War now and all this bullshit.
So
And
you're saying we orbited it, but we never landed?
we never landed that first time.
Okay.
Apollo 11 never landed the first time. They came back. They might have recorded everything in a Hollywood basement, Red Hot Chili Peppers says, and then that's their proof. And then so many of those documents were like thrown away and shit. Photos are edited. All kinds of shit gets lost.
Let me explain how you're walking me into this. Okay. So I can be convinced that you can't take video out there or whatever, or they didn't, but they did land and they did do whatever and they did come back. The whole thing was real, but everything you were shown post landing was made because it had to sound like it went right. It had to look like it went right. How do you get these motherfuckers who can't bend their fingers in these crazy spacesuits to take videos? I've seen an explanation of that, or take like perfectly framed pictures. I mean, they're wearing a helmet and a thing. I've seen an explanation of that. A guy goes over the camera they use, and they're like, it had big ass fucking buttons. It was designed to have a very wide focus range, so you get like 10 to 30 feet. And we taught them how to like kind of just point and shoot them. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, people take great looking Instagram pictures every day that are bullshit. So why wouldn't the space thing work that way? But also, I think it'd be easier to film it in a thing.
That's what I was going to say. I think worst case scenario, they probably did fake it. Like they had the footage there just in case, but they did succeed. So they probably had a mission in place that was going to go, we're going to land on the moon and do all this stuff. But then they had a backup plan B, where they filmed it here on Earth.
But Drake's explanation makes a lot of sense because you can't guarantee that the astronauts that take off are going to be the astronauts that land. If you actually take the risk and land on the moon. But we had orbiting the moon down pretty good. So why wouldn't you just send them up there, put them in orbit, and then send them back, and then be like, yeah, we landed. Look at all this shit.
Literally.
There's a flag up there, probably.
But then later, when they went and actually touched down, they put the flag in there.
Who knows? But the reason that explanation is compelling to me, because I dug way too deep into the Stanley Kubrick arc of this thing. I think Jeremy has done some research into that, and I watched one pretty compelling video on Rumble because they won't let it be on YouTube. Also, let's start off with did you see the video of that's supposed to be him admitting he did it?
It was a fake, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I read as well. And it kind of doesn't seem like him, but did you watch the video? Because it was a pretty good video.
I don't think I watched it. I think I heard about it, and then they were like, it was proven to be not him or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but if you want to entertain the part of your brain that's like, ooh, he admitted it, and you watch the video in that mindset.
If you go in believing that it was him.
Yeah. No, it's not, but just act like it is. Anyway, doesn't matter. But that video went on to explain all the parallels in The Shining.
Yeah,
and
that's
how
what
it's. He fucked up the book so bad he made it an allegory for lying about going to space. Essentially, is what he did with that horror film.
That's what I heard, but it's weird to like try to process that.
So he would have been filming 2001: A Space Odyssey. It wouldn't have been The Shining, but The Shining was the next movie, and then he put in all the clues. Saying, yeah.
Okay, so let's start with 2001 because the explanation I saw is that the technology he figured out and used on 2001: A Space Odyssey to make the background so expansive, it was like a off-center projector. So it would be, you're pointing a projector at a mirror onto like a certain special type of fabric made by 3M or something, and it perfectly reflects at a certain angle the projector so the actors can be in front of it without a shadow. I guess they didn't figure out how to do the other reverse and just flip the image. I don't know. But a lot of his backgrounds, you can see the line in his in that movie as to where the background is. And if you like crank the gamma, you can see the seams in the fabric. It was a good video. And then people use that same mindset of figuring out where that background is and look at the space pictures. And the lines they draw on both of them are pretty similar lines. Like you could trick me into thinking that the background behind the foreground is superimposed in some manner using that same technology that he used in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It's a crazy. Whenever I saw his name pop up, that he was the one to do it. Like, I don't know, to choose such a high-profile guy to do something like that seems kind of like a red flag.
Well, yeah, I would be interested to see like the Russian propaganda for Sputnik and shit. Like, did they make videos and screen that shit? I want to see those videos.
That was another thing too. That
I want to compare and contrast this.
That was another thing that was compelling too. So if we were in the space race and we faked it, I think it would be pretty obvious to somebody else with similar technology that we faked it. Like the Russians, if we were competing with the Russians, they would know absolutely if we went to the moon or not, right?
You would hope so.
They'd hope
been up
so
there more often than we were.
But
for
them to hold true to our story, like to me, that's evidence that we actually did go. Because if they were trying to win the race, they'd be like, "No, that's fucking bullshit. You guys didn't make it. Here's the evidence," and then it would be out.
You would think that every Russian you meet goes, "No, you didn't."
Why would they collaborate our story unless there was some other
corroborate? Yeah,
and then
we
go ahead, Drake.
No, I was just like, what if, like, back on what I was saying, we didn't land the first time, we land a second or third time after Operation Paperclip when we get all these German Nazi scientists to start helping us.
That happened in the 40s and 50s. That's the only reason we had any chance at it. But
oh shit, that did happen in the 40s. No, wait, it's the Cold War, right?
But like,
yeah, that's 45. My bad.
Okay. I'll go with your scenario though, because imagine you're Russia and you're the U.S. and you both know the other has the technology to orbit the moon, and one of you makes a real compelling story that you did it, and the other one thinks they lost. So you won the morality of the Cold War for the next 20 years. And like Drake said, maybe just when you actually figure it out, you do it and you go, "Look, I told you we could do it." Because they did go up to like Apollo 13 was a failure. They made a great movie about it.
Did they?
But I think
who stars in that?
There were other Apollo missions that landed on the moon. I think we've been on the moon like 5 times. We're going back this next year or something like
Artemis, that. Yeah, Artemis is going back this year, I think, which is pretty crazy. I don't know why that's so crazy. It's something that was done 70 years ago with ancient technology at this point, and now we're going back. We're like, oh, we're going back.
Will you do something for me right now? No. Will you pull up the internet and type in NASA tampons, and the first story makes me think NASA is incompetent. So this is a side argument.
Is it NPR?
Are you doing it live on Twitch? Because you should.
NASA tampons.
Yeah, it's the first one.
That time when NASA almost sent Sally Ride to space with 100 tampons.
It was like a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip. And they were like, is this enough?
That's a legitimate question.
I can't see it.
No one at NASA knew how menstrual cycles worked at all.
You need 100 tampons for a 3-day journey. That sounds proportionate.
Unless they did some weird science and menstrual cycles work funny in zero gravity. That makes no sense.
That's actually
a bunch of dudes, so they don't know, I guess.
It's not a bunch of dudes. NASA
well, it was
a lot of women.
I bet it was.
Then,
I bet
was mainly men.
I bet shit is so.
Pretty...
I bet shit is so organized on that shuttle that someone told someone they had a X by X square in which to store tampons. So the guy whose job it was to design how to store the tampons in this space went, "Oh, I can just fill it up with tampons." And so there was like 100, and they showed her the drawer, and she was like, "What the fuck? This is more tampons than I have in my house."
Yeah,
I might not even need one. Anyway. No, that's hilarious. Actually, that's funny. Funny little article. Appreciate you sharing that.
Adam showed me that on the Rolling Third.
That's a funny little tidbit of American history is that our leading scientists sending people to the moon don't know the basic menstrual cycles of women. So
They studied physics, not biology.
that's kind of that's not even
Yeah.
that's like 7th grade biology. Like that's the benchmark of making it to life to adulthood. What the hell?
Okay, so we talked about the first Stanley Kubrick movie, 2001.
Is it?
The Shining is weirder. Do you know details of that one?
I heard there was like a bunch of hidden messages, like the room number was the mileage between the Earth and the moon or something like that.
Yeah, and he changed it from the book.
No, yeah, so he diverged from the book just to align with the moon conspiracy stuff.
Oh shit!
The son is wearing an Apollo 11
Yeah,
sweater
he
the
is.
whole time. And if you go through, I should find the video and have that provided because I'm not going to explain this well. But he's wearing that sweater, and then like something bad happens, and his sweater gets ripped, and that's like an allegorical meaning. It's like listening to Dark Side of the Moon and watching The Wizard of Oz at the same time. You're like, whoa, what? I think you're also supposed to do drugs, but whatever. But The Shining, if you look at it under that frame, it's kind of the same experience where you're like, oh my God, this is an entire different story. Because the guy that hires Jack Nicholson to work at the hotel or whatever looks like Kennedy, and he's got like an eagle statue behind him, and it looks like the government is asking, if you put Stanley Kubrick in Jack's position, it looks like the government is propositioning him to do something for them.
The
And he's
lunar
set
module
up
was
to look
called
like
like Eagle 1 or something like that too. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Alright.
And so this video draws significance out of situations like that throughout the movie. It's crazy.
I
I feel like if I was
seen
Kubrick,
any of
I
that,
would do
so-
that just to mess with people though.
Yeah, I was about to say, what if
If
he
I
was
caught
just,
on to
like,
some
messing
conspiracy
around?
that I
No,
was like
no.
masterminding the moon landing, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with people, dude. I'm gonna put so much shit in this movie.
No, because you have to take his career into the context, and Eyes Wide Shut is a conspiracy movie too.
Well, yeah, 100%.
But he fucked up the book in so many ways that if you like look at Stephen King talk about the movie, he thinks it sucks. They like remade a series because he thought it was so bad. I think it was on HBO or whatever. And one of the points in this video I watched was that the car that wrecks at the end of the book is like a blue bug, and the one in the Shining is like some type of significance different car. I think it's yellow. I don't know. They made it make more sense than I'm making it make. But like as a nod to like, I fucked your book up to the point where I put the wrong car in the field. It's weird.
Like he's owning it.
That's a bad example. But yeah. Like he knew he was not doing what the book was doing. Like all the blood in the hallway was not in the book at all. The twins in the movie are actually like two different kids. Like they're not twins in the book. And somehow them being twins was significant to this story. He spun me in a web, dude. I'll find it. It's on Rumble. I'll link it in the Discord.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I want to see that. Because The Shining is a fucking fine film.
I like The Shining.
Yeah, it's good.
It's all right.
Didn't they make a second one with like Ewan McGregor?
Doctor
The
Sleep.
Shining too.
Is
No, that was
bad.
that was a different Stephen King novel.
Oh, what is that the sequel to?
I don't think it is. Doctor Sleep is its own thing. I think.
I'm pretty sure that's the kid growing up back
Doctor
at
Sleep
the
is a sequel
hotel.
to The Shining. 100%.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
100.
the little kid, the little boy. What's his name?
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Danny.
Danny boy.
Danny boy.
Yeah, it's Danny grown up, but it's Ewan McGregor, and he goes back to the hotel for some stupid reason.
Hey man, his name is Ewan.
Ian McGregor.
He is not the Chinese currency.
Hello there.
All right. What do we have left on the moon landing?
There was some other stuff saying like there wasn't like a crater created by the lunar module that landed, right?
The landing. Yeah.
But
You would think it would displace dust with
yeah,
the
they
thrust.
think like without the atmosphere it would displace the dust. But the thing I was reading, it was a balloon or a parachute that kind of lowered it down, and not necessarily thrusters. So it gently landed by the power of gravity, not like a thruster slowing down. So
Yeah,
there
but the
would be
moon's
no
Gravity in space.
How does the moon's gravity make a parachute function? A parachute wouldn't even open on the moon. If you projected a parachute out of the back of your module, you would actually go to the moon faster
There's
because you would have
gravity
put
on
a
the moon.
force on the back. Yeah, but it's like 0.08% of the Earth. It's like crazy fucking low.
Yeah.
Imagine
why
they
they
had some
move
momentum.
So crazy.
Imagine they had some momentum coming in.
I don't know because they were in orbit.
I don't know.
They
So
had to thrust towards the moon at least.
that wasn't necessarily a red flag for me. That's one of the things that conspiracy theories point out, is that there's no like residual crater left from the thrusters or something like that. But I don't think there necessarily would be.
Because it was a balloon or a parachute.
Parachute, something to slow it down, not necessarily a thruster, but that would make sense. One of the other big ones is that you hear the shadows from the pictures don't align up. Like they should all be parallel because of one light source, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Being
you don't take into account
from
that
the sun.
the lunar surface is uneven. So every time you get an uneven surface with a light shining on it, the uneven surface displaces the light, causes the angle to change. And you could do the same thing here on Earth. So if you're looking at a street and there's a sidewalk, and then it dips down into the street and then comes back up on the other side for the other sidewalk, if there's a light shining on it, if there's a shadow shining on it, it looks like the light post is cut in half, right? There's a chunk of it that's cut in half that's like shifted slightly to the left. It's not perfect. So that's the same example of why there would be not perfect parallel shadows.
Yeah, but they were. I understand what you said, and I get the example. And like, even if it's like a curve, the light post is going to look like it's curved in the shadow. I get that. But what I was seeing from the conspiracy side was that the angles of a parallel object, be it like, imagine it's a ladder, and the light source on the moon from a ladder would leave parallel lines. Or they wouldn't go in towards each other, they would go out, if anything, because the light source is way over there. But they had like, they didn't have parallel or similar angles on both sides. So it looked like there were two different light sources.
I think that's explained by what I just said, just the changes in the surface level. Anyways,
I mean, I get your point. Yeah, I don't disagree.
I'm just saying,
I
like,
don't
from a
know.
conspiracy
I don't know.
standpoint, that seems pretty disprovable, that that's not really anything.
I agree with that as well.
Okay. The
Like,
other thing was that there was no stars
I would
in all of the pictures.
1,000% bring a flashlight to the moon. So that means that all light sources are random to me.
Yeah, so anyways, there's no stars in the pictures. In any of the pictures they show, there's no stars. And they're like, if you were out in deep space, out on the moon, you would see stars in the background of all these pictures. Well, no, you would be setting your camera up to catch your
The light from the moon.
the light from the moon. So when you do, you dial your camera into what's immediately in front of you from the light reflected from the moon and the sunlight on you would lose the stars. And they ran the same example here on Earth. So if you have long exposure, the immediate surroundings is super dark, like you can't see anything around you, but you can see stars in the sky. But as soon as you try to dial it into stuff in your surroundings, like rock or a tree in front of you, you have to turn the contrast up super high. It drowns out the lighter, the less powerful light sources, which would be the stars. So it would cancel out the stars. So they did experiments, and Mythbusters did a few episodes on it too. But you just play with the camera settings and the background turns black, but your immediate surroundings get super high contrast. So it's just an effect of the camera.
Well, and I watched a video specifically on the camera because they were they were disproving the contention that the pressurized suits, you wouldn't have enough mobility in your fingers to work a camera.
They would have sent people up there without figuring that shit out to me. That seems...
Yeah, no,
That's the other thing. They wouldn't have risked their lives at all for any of that shit.
They explained the modifications they made to what camera. Like, this was the camera. This is what they did to it. And I was like, oh, yeah, you could work that with basically two open hands if you can move your pointer finger at all. So they made the buttons huge, and they made the focus thing, like, they gave them divots with like feet on them. So the focus ring said like 5 feet, and they went, okay, he's about 5 feet away. Okay, what I'm taking a picture of now is about 10 feet away. So it was like autofocus, but it was really well tuned because they knew they were going to have the crazy suits. I'm going off on a tangent about the cameras, but I agree with you.
What was another one? There was pictures of the astronauts in the shadow of the lunar lander. So they were thinking, if he's in the shadow of your only light source, he should be blacked out, right?
Mm.
But then there's another experiment where the lunar surface is extremely reflective. So any light hitting the lunar surface would immediately bounce back on anything in its immediate surroundings, like the astronauts. So that's not necessarily true either. So if they were somehow blocked from the sunlight, it would still be reflecting off the surface of the moon back at them. We only see the moon in the sky because it's reflecting sunlight. Literally, it's happening every night when you look out the window.
Big ass mirror. I imagine it being like if you were to stand on it, like one of those disco dance floors, but every changing light is just bright white.
Literally.
Imagine it's a pretty special experience being on the moon. That would be...
I cannot imagine. That'd be so cool to go there.
I mean, if you go on the lunar surface, you have to wear crazy ass, hugely tinted sunglasses, or your eyes will burn. Because there's no atmosphere, so the sun's light is like crazy fucking bright. And the lunar surface is also reflective. I've been on commercial white rubber roofs in the middle of summer. That shit's bright from the bottom too, dude.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
there a reason to paint in that white?
Blind you.
It's for energy savings, I think. But if you're up there too long without sunglasses, you're going to get in your car and go, I can't fucking see the radio.
So, as my understanding, that's the gist of the moon conspiracy landing, right? Yeah. I found it kind of boring. That's how we opened the episode. It just wasn't much there as far as the conspiracy of us actually landing there. I would like to dedicate another episode to it possibly being UFO related because there's some crazy shit about that.
Oh yeah, I stumbled on some stories of astronauts talking about seeing aliens.
No, it's Buzz. There's interviews of Buzz Aldrin talking about aliens. Like you never hear about that shit, but literally the guy that was there on the moon walking around going, "No, we were followed around by lights and all this crazy ass shit that you never hear about." And the mission you mentioned earlier, the Artemis mission that we're going back this year, next year, we're going back to the moon. We're going to the South Pole, so we're going to be right on the edge of the. They call it the dark side of the moon, but
yeah. Where you can see.
Yeah, it seems crazy that we're going back. So it kind of ties into the whole thing. Like if it was a big conspiracy, maybe they got everybody to buy on board with it. And I'm saying maybe Russia went along with the lie because we were like, hey, dude, there's aliens up there. And we're kind of just trying to throw everybody off the path. They told us to come back in 50 years because we weren't ready yet. And so
dog. Listen, I've got the ultimate conspiracy. All right, the aliens that landed went, yo, dog, what's up? We live on the dark side of the moon, and we're so much better than y'all. Look what we can do. You can have this. And when first one to come meet us up there wins. Later. And it's a space race.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe we did win and got up there and met them, and then we came back. We're like, hey guys, like it's us versus them at this point. Like just cool off with the whole war shit. Like aliens are real. Let's start prepping for that.
That would be crazy.
It would buy into all of the UFO conspiracy stuff. Like the timeline would roughly line up, right? So I mean, mean, Roswell would have been 40, so then you would have gotten introduction to the technology needed, and then you'd spend another 20 years
20.
in R&D trying to develop some of this stuff, and then you had a race to the moon. I don't
In
know.
the middle of R&D, there was a world war.
Cold War. Yeah.
Where we stole scientists.
I don't know. I would.
Dude, what if Hitler was just winning the space race and the rest of the world? Okay, this is
That's what I'm saying. It's another episode for
obviously
sure.
this isn't what happened, but like if you put that weird context on it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
we wanted the scientists.
We
Yeah.
wanted the technology.
But we will let. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
So, anyways, as far as the conspiracy about us landing on the moon, I think that's bullshit. I think we actually went to the moon now. I was on the fence before, but now I'm pretty certain we went to the moon. But
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it doesn't have anything to do with aliens, because if anything, that made me think maybe we did find aliens. What leaps we will take in the next World War?
That we saw them there, so they followed us back.
I think if they were on our moon, they knew we were here.
I don't know. They were like, "We're just gonna follow you back."
We're at the end time, but I have a question that I need answered.
Mm-hmm.
How does not knowing the blackbird existed for 30 or 40 years, however long that was? I think they made it in the 50s. We didn't find out about it until the 80s or 90s. How does that affect the technology of the space race?
Like it.
You're
Does
saying
that-
maybe they're more advanced than we are? We think they are?
Yeah.
We are
Like,
more
why would,
advanced?
if we had that plane, which was like supersonic, no one could see it, crazy feat of engineering. If we had that, why didn't we also have like way better than Russian rockets? Or in the 60s, we made that plane 10 years before.
Maybe that's what's happening right now. Maybe everything they're disclosing is 20-year-old facts. Like maybe there's something else going on that they're just trying to like throw us off the trail of. Like, hey,
Maybe-
here's some old school
yeah.
technology. Focus on this for now. But really,
All right, let's say Artemis goes to the moon and they call back in and they go, "Sir, we're here." And the president gets on the TV and it's like a national address. And he's like, "We've had a civilization on the moon since 1969 and now we're making it public. The United States owns the moon."
would that be treated like the colonial
feel
days? Whenever there's
yeah, I feel
new
like-
land, you just go in there and put your flag down and be like, "This is America's." Like, it's
Is
the
it that
fucking
easy to
moon.
get it? Yeah, I was
We-
going to say, is it that easy to claim where it's like it's ours, it's not yours?
I don't know, but I think if we invented thousands long black tarps and could block out sections of the moon for sections of the world, we might have some dominance play here.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, we'd be like, this is all of us.
Crazy road
You
to
have
go
a
down.
new moon every night. Okay.
I used to have a
That's
buddy in high school. You know those sites that you could go to and you could buy stars and name them?
Yeah.
He's like, I wonder if anybody ever purchased Our Sun. What if you just went on there and bought Our Sun, and then you're like, I own the sun.
It would be like over $14 billion or some shit.
You guys
Dude,
would
do you-
pay me for the solar power, right?
Do you think you could buy square footage on the moon?
I think you can. actually.
Elon might
No, I think
make
you.
that a thing.
I think you can go online and buy.
I know you can do it in like Scotland or something, become a sir, but can you do it on the moon as well?
I don't. I think you can do it, but it's all like. It's not legit. It's not that it's not legitimate, but it doesn't actually mean anything.
So if I bought like 60,000 square feet,
No,
It
but
doesn't matter.
you're not going to get anything back from that. No. Maybe somewhere your name ends up on it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, like how do you invest that?
Nelson acreage on the moon. This is the Nelson base. He contributed $20 to the GoFundMe Buy the Moon.
Yeah, I think pretty quick someone goes, "Hey man, you can't buy moon real estate if you can't get to the moon." Okay. This is
Yeah.
a very
So then we're gonna end up with like
people.
Musk Valley or some shit like that.
Yeah,
When they get to Mars, he wants to go to Mars.
it's half Musk,
He
half
starts
Bezos.
naming shit on Mars after himself.
Oh no!
I hope not.
If you land the first base on Mars and you don't
maybe.
name it Elon Musk's nuts, you're missing an opportunity.
That's probably fair.
That'd be great.
Who am I to say? If you can make it there, maybe you get to name where you landed. All right, that's the show.
Yep.
So we have anything on Lunartics?
Don't be a lunatic.
What's next week?
Next week
That's a
we're
good
gonna
question.
follow up on the current events.
The whole season? Oh,
There will be.
when
next
is
week.
when is the season ending thing?
I would imagine episode 12, like last season.
12. Yeah.
Okay.
This was 9. So yeah, we have
I
2
didn't-
more.
I didn't remember what number it was.
2 more and a recap.
All right, we're taking chat suggestions in the Discord.
Join
Y'all
our
do it.
Discord if you would like to contribute to. Can I do this? Look at that.
Oh,
Can I
yeah.
also do this? Look at that. Professional. All right, who's closing us out? Who's got the inspirational quote?
I think we're all doing plugs.
All right, Drake. I
All
will
right.
go first.
So, all right.
Secret show.
Secret show?
There is a secret show for Abel
go ahead,
Delilah.
go ahead, Drake.
There's a secret show for Abel Delilah, the band I'm in, at the end of the month. You can access that on the band's Instagram, Abel Delilah, or on mine. It's Inked Beats. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. If you can only find out the address for the show if you purchase tickets. It'll give you the address after that. Hope to see a bunch of y'all there. It's going to be a very chill, stripped back set. It's gonna be very like Tiny Desk concert vibe. If y'all have ever seen those. I will take my shirt off.
All right. I'm there.
Hell yeah. That's all it took. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Go next, I guess. I do this show most Tuesday nights. Won't say every Tuesday night anymore, but we're usually here on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock sharp. Call it 7:02 after our intro, but we're here talking about politics, crazy stuff going on in the news, and then whatever conspiracy theories we can come up with. We're always open to suggestions too, so yeah, definitely if you've got some kind of topic you want us to deep dive, share that. We do Sunday mornings sometimes, so if you catch us live on Sunday, we'll be there as well. Am I forgetting something?
No, all our promises have been sometimes.
Sometimes. I think that's it on my plugs, though.
Yeah, I do a show on YouTube, The Rolling Third, all one word. Sundays at 8
PM.
Heyo.
Other
See you
than
next week.
that, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry for the hiatus. Definitely life got busy, crazy, personal.
But we're back.
We'll be here though. We always were there. Just a Discord message
Jeremy,
away.
just end the show.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to y'all later. Next week maybe. See you guys. Bye.